Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Varangian Guard Podcast. I hope you enjoy. Welcome back, you hideously deformed creatures of superhuman size and strength. I am sitting here with practically the most hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. I'm here with Dunkin, a really good friend of mine, avid WoW player, and just overall really great guy. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Not too bad. I know a lot of people are like, for podcasts and stuff. What I usually do is I put it to like the lowest quality and just minimize it. I always have like podcasts going while I'm playing WoW. I find it's like a really great background noise sometimes. Podcasts. Do you watch any podcasts?
Yeah, I usually watch. It's called Fieldcraft Survival. I listen to that while I go into like work and sit in traffic on the highway. It's like you said, really good background noise.
Yeah, I always find like I don't know anybody that like sits there and just watches the people like for the full hour and just sitting there watching the people. Like, yeah, this is fun. This is interesting. I don't know why podcasts are always like a background noise thing for me.
Yeah, I could never actually like sit there and watch them. I'd just fall asleep. But listening to them is, sometimes better than music when you really can't figure out anything to like listen to or anything like that.
Oh, absolutely. So what have you been doing in WoW?
So I've been trying to just gear up my DK with like heroic and Taurus, all that stuff. I'm more of a casual at this point. I'm almost cleared heroic on him, but I did make a druid to level as a tank with Taurus in the new server, new friend group, all that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You're Guardian Druid, right? You said.
Yeah, he's Guardian's really fun. I don't know, it's a lot different playstyle. It's new to learn, but it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's the bear, man. It's just the whole beast mentality. That's what it is.
Yeah, always having like 10 million health unbuffed is really sexy.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, and I love that they stuck out with that too. The more health.
Oh yeah, going right off of stamina, it's a really different play style. You have to play more around your armor instead of just strength, and it's really nice just to mitigate different cooldowns that way, and healers pay different attention to you. It's really nice.
Yeah, I like that druids are more just like they can prepare, but they're just more just absorb damage, not like paladins and warriors kind of have like that offense, whereas druids are just kind of pure like defensive, and I really like that. I really like that.
Yeah, I like how I have to play around the cooldowns instead of just running in there and just getting healed over and over trying to keep aggro. I actually have to play and know what I'm doing. Just
Yeah,
keeps me on my toes.
yeah, yeah. It's not like a death knight or something. I'll just use a blood drinker or whatever it's called if you're
Yeah,
in trouble. But
instant full health.
yeah, in this video actually, the video that's coming out with this podcast, like the background video, it's Alttrek Valley. I actually did top damage as a Guardian Druid. Very surprised. It was like one of my better games.
Oh, I'm jealous. I wish I could do any damage over like 500,000, even with like burst and pulverize and all that.
Oh,
It is so bad.
yes, yeah. I don't rock pulverize. I
Oh, really?
yeah, like the best I guess defense is like the balance shoulder legendaries, and people run like Galactic Guardian and Pulverize, but I just use Thrash. I just have like the Thrash build, and I do like a shit ton of damage. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, I bet. I only have one legendary, the belt, that's like the 100% increased damage for when they're above 90% health, and it heals you for 100% of the damage. So that's really no cooldown to actually, I guess, do any damage with.
Yeah, I guess like you're good for like the first 20 seconds of a fight.
Yeah, but when you run in with like a group that's just 950 and they just kill the boss right away, it's almost nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty useless. They're actually adding though the ability to buy legendaries in the next patch.
Yeah, I saw the video on that with the awakening essences from that dude who just keeps giving you the quest even though you've upgraded all your legendary.
Yeah, that dude. It's I like it. I don't have any use for it. I don't know why. Apparently, I've gotten very lucky with legendaries this expansion.
Oh, I'm jealous. I know that you can get the the legendaries for your class, and it's long overdue in my opinion, the catch-up mechanic. But I know even when I get it, I'm not gonna get the legendaries I want until the very last one.
Oh, see, like that, and like I hear like other people talk about that as well. Like people who have like 20 days played and they have like one or two legendaries, and it's just I actually feel guilty. I mean, is this what the whole the whole guilt thing is nowadays? But I just feel guilty because even on my prot warrior, I have the two best in slot legendaries. They were my first two legendaries, the only one I've gotten. So I feel like a complete POS.
Oh man, I'm jealous. It takes me like once every 2 months to get a legendary, and it's not the legendary I need. It's just, oh, it's terrible.
Well, man, I guess I have luck tattooed on my buttocks, huh?
Yeah, right. RNG just loves you.
He really does. I mean, RNGesus and I have a very good relationship. But you said you were doing Antorus. How do you like it?
I like it a lot. I like the fights. They're unique. Some of them are really similar. They added they added some mechanics from separate bosses and compiled them all into different bosses. Like Garathi has parts of like Fallen Avatar, parts of well, I digress. But there's different parts of different bosses that are and new mechanics that just create all of the bosses that aren't really like repetitive of every other raid like it has been. You know what I'm saying? Is that does that make sense? Because
oh yeah, absolutely.
A little weird, yeah.
No, it definitely makes sense. And that's what even because I haven't been in Antorus yet. I don't know why I haven't gone in there. Like, it's not that I don't want to, it's just I've never had the desire to. But I did watch all the fights and the console fight. I don't remember what they're called. The Antorian High Command.
Ooh, yeah, that one's good. That's unique.
Yeah, that I was watching. I'm like, this looks awesome. Like, it looks like a lot of fun. And I know it's not as hard as Tomo Sargeras though is, right?
Definitely not. It's not easy, but it's not really hard like Tomo Sargeras was. You need to have at least some mechanical game sense to understand like what you're doing, because you don't want, obviously, don't stand in the fire, don't run over traps and stuff like that, and you'll die. But I don't know, with the gear that they give you and the damage that you can put out, it's pretty easy once you get like a geared group that doesn't have like two brain cells,
Yeah, and I mean, like, even with the what's it called? I wish I could remember these names. The Netherlight Crucible. See, I get them eventually. Just like being able to upgrade your weapon that way, and it's like we're kind of like walking demigods right now.
Exactly. Like, they're just trying to give you new abilities. I mean, on my DK, my unholy weapon's like 989 or something like that, and it's insane. The damage you put out once you're like max Netherlight Crucible, and you just put out so much damage. They give you such a good opportunity to build your class right. Once you get the right relics and stuff, the damage you just put out is unbelievable, and it makes the raid that much easier.
Wow, yeah. I mean, like, I keep reading about people just like doing these outrages. I guess they have to. It had to make sense though, right? Because we're fighting titans and stuff basically. So I guess it kind of makes sense as to why we're so damn overpowered. But then I wonder how the hell are they going to match that later on? Because like we're getting a stat squish, right?
Yeah, the stat squish is coming in 7.35, and I mean, it's mandatory. It's like obligatory because they've done it with pretty much every expansion leading up to now, from like MOP.
Yeah, so I remember the stat squish and MOP.
Yeah. Oh, so I don't know. It's sort of necessary because it just sets you up for the next expansion. But once you get the stat squish, the expansion's coming soon, which just makes it way more exciting.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, we're losing our artifact weapons apparently in the pre-patch. I don't know how they're gonna do our weapons now. Like, I wonder if it's just gonna unlock everything and just kind of have them as like a purple or a legendary. But apparently we're actually like losing our weapons, which is, I guess, pretty good. Because we know we need to. We can't keep them forever.
Right. You don't want to just keep upgrading them through the whole expansion. Through the different expansions, that'll just get way too boring.
Yeah, you don't want it like the PvP prestiges and just have to go for 26 on every character.
Exactly.
So are you excited for Battle for Azeroth?
Oh yeah, I can't wait. It's long overdue. I was expecting Culturist expansion like after Kata.
Yeah, like I know people have been wanting that for a while. Same with Zandalar.
Exactly. It's long overdue, and I am so excited for it.
I watched the crowd reactions because I wanted to see, after doing a reaction video, I wanted to see what the crowd was like when like they were there. But like when they showed Kultiris, everyone was like, "Yeah, woo!" And then they showed Zandalar, and the crowd just started roaring.
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, you like this, but you also liked this. Now here, they get them both."
Here's the same thing, but with dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but it does. I like the idea. I really like the idea of Horde questing in their own place, Alliance questing in their own place, and then like the other zones opening up at max level. I really like that idea. I hope it works out.
Me too. A lot of people were iffy with since Mop with the two factions working together because there's supposed to be like a great war going on between them. But now that we're actually getting back to the basics and them like fighting again because we pretty much destroyed Sargeras, or imprisoned Sargeras, who was trying to, I guess, destroy Azeroth. It's long overdue. People are gonna be really excited about it.
Spoiler alert! No, no. Yeah, and I know a lot of people are like a lot of people are really excited about finally WoW going back to its roots of what it meant to be World of Warcraft. And I know a lot of people are like, well, why the hell are we fighting each other? You know, they're still N'Zoth. But I don't like I said this in a video too. I don't think we're gonna be fighting each other for the whole expansion, as much as I want. Like I want to, because like they have the Titan quarantine facility. We're gonna kill a Jara, so you definitely know there's gonna be some N'Zoth stuff in there somewhere.
Yeah, they'll definitely bring it back to the old gods, especially if we're going back that far to the war, like before, like in Warcraft 3 and stuff like that. We're definitely going to see some old gods, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hope N'Zoth takes over like the next expansion. I want them to like destroy like all of like because they're experimenting with, um, what's it called? Like you could be level 20 in quest in the Draenei starting zone. You know, like they have that sort of level scaling or zone scaling, I should say. So I'm wondering if it doesn't work out too well, if they're gonna do like a N'Zoth kind of corrupting the earth sort of thing and like changing everything again.
Well, I mean, if we look back to like Cataclysm where they actually did that and people were not happy about it, I don't know, they sort of have to appeal to their fan base because they know we wanted like a war between the two factions and they're giving it to us, but they don't want like a lot of the people, including me, wouldn't really want them to change the world all over again, but it would definitely spice things up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you think about like all these allied races they're adding, and they're like people are gonna get bored of going back and leveling through the same old questing zones. So I'm sure it was brought up, but I kind of, if it doesn't take away from Endgame, I'm okay with them doing it. But if they have to sacrifice something cool at Endgame, I don't want them to. But I'm worried now because of Warlords of Draenor and all the things they sacrifice from that to give us basically nothing. So I kind of, kind of iffy about a couple of things.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's all about the fan base. You're not going to please everybody, but the majority of the people just really want a faction war, and that's what we're going to get. So people are going to be really excited about it.
Yeah, did you check out like the demos? Like they had like I think it was like 20-minute zone previews. Did you see about that?
The only thing I saw was the two allied races that were out at the time, the High Mountain Tauren and the Lightforged Draenei. I saw them playing those and looking in the new zones and stuff, but I never really got into depth with it.
Okay, because like I had the virtual ticket, so I don't know. It might be on YouTube now, but I don't. It wouldn't have been at the time. But they went into like the Alliance place where everyone's like they're all like frozen in time, and there's like witchcraft going on, and like there was this really cool thing. Like there's a lot more blood, by the way. There's a lot more gore. I'm excited about that because I'm kind of like there's like people butchering each other is really good, like pigs being like butchered and like blood spilling out. But there was like a part where there's a trial and they're about to hang somebody, and they're like, we considered having this as the opener, so you walk into the zone and you have no idea what's going on except they're about to hang somebody. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So like Blizzard's storytelling has gotten so much better since like over the expansions,
Yeah, they really have improved. something like that with the hanging would really open up to the expansion. Like, oh, who's this guy? What's his story? How did he end up like this? And people would be really excited about it and actually be eager to question the zones to figure out what that was.
Yeah, like sort of like unfolding the story, because even Blizzard said that people don't really read the quest log anymore. Like they don't read the quest, so they have to like flush out the story in the environment. So I think that's why it's a little bit better too. I think that's why the leveling experience is a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with people who've been playing 13 years since vanilla, it's the same thing over and over and over, and people really don't want to level. That's why so many alts have been reduced to like one main character, because you could branch off into a bunch of different specs, re-level the whole artifact weapon, all your like the talent trees, everything like that. And people just don't want anything repetitive because they've been doing it for so long. They already know what's going on, everything that's happening.
Yeah, and that was one of the arguments, right? Was it's that Legion wasn't alt friendly.
Yeah, so they never really. It takes them a long time. It took them like a really long time for some reason to put catch-up mechanics into this expansion. So people would really only stick to one character because you'd have to, do all your class haul to unlock your third relic. You'd have to do Broken Shore over and over again to get your mount. It was just really repetitive.
Yeah, I actually really hated that, and the whole like unlocking artifact knowledge just passively. I was like, this is a lot better. I don't have to like put any work orders through, and I know it's like a 2 second job, but even that was like, why wasn't that in the start of the expansion? Because then you have to go and take care of all of your alts and put all of this knowledge through. It's like, no, just let us have it. Just give it to us. There are some things that are awesome, but they get trivial, and then that's the one thing that I'm glad they changed.
Exactly. Like you forget 1 week of that artifact knowledge and you're behind the entire raid, you're pulling less DPS, and then you'd be substituted for somebody else who actually had, you know, caught up artifact knowledge.
Yeah, no, exactly. Even like the Netherlight Crucible is another big one. But I'm glad they're kind of thinking about alts now. They're thinking about, well, and I guess it's good though with Legion that they're experimenting, that they're actually taking risks. Like in WoD it was like safe and nothing, and now it's risk and it's paying off. Like a lot of people loved Legion.
Right, it's really supply and demand. They're actually listening to the fan base, going on Reddit, taking suggestions, everything like that, and they're giving the people what they want, which is actually increasing their player base, which is really good for them and really good for the people that actually want to play because they're getting everything that they want.
Yeah, they're getting more people, less queue times. Like, it just gets better and better.
Exactly. That's pretty much the basis of the game too, is just, have fun, and you want to play what you want to play, and they're going to help you and listen to what you have to say about it just to try and make it a better experience for you.
Yeah, it's definitely not like we're going to talk about a company here. It's not like EA where they just kind of like to screw over their player base every chance they get. Like Blizzard actually cares. At least now they cared. And WoD, I have no idea what happened, but definitely something bad happened in WoD that they won't ever talk about. But
Yeah, I mean, every game has a hiccup like that. It's something people are just going to have to get over. Not everything's going to be perfect, but they're going to try their best, but they moved on from it, and they made the game so much better how it is now than it was back in Warlord.
oh, exactly. Like they gave us Argus in a patch. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, to put a whole new planet in the game in one patch with a new raid and everything like that is just amazing, and people really like them for it.
Yeah, and even like Legion Battle for Azeroth seems like it's gonna be on par, if not gonna top Legion. But like again, like that's why I'm a little worried about it too. Is how do you top Sargeras, or do you have kind of like a cool off expansion?
Exactly. It all depends on how they want to, I guess, do the PvE here, because it's a faction war expansion, so the PvP is obviously going to be phenomenal. But the PvE, they can go a couple of different ways with it. It really depends on how early they want to get to the roots. Like they could bring like old gods back. They could go, because apparently Legion is back in time. They could go forward in time to what happens. They can go a bunch of different routes here just to make the expansion that much better.
Yeah, I kind of want a whole thing where, when Varian got kidnapped in Classic and stuff, like when Onyxia split his soul in two, I kind of wanted them to go the route of, well, it turns out she had a kid with Varian, Enduin's brother, and he wants the throne because he's older than Anduin. Like how cool would that have been?
Right, exactly.
Like a what do they call it? A black dragon wanting to take over Stormwind. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that could actually that does sound pretty awesome.
You know, even though Onyxia kind of ran Gilneas and then she kind of ran Stormwind. So they've been meddling in human affairs for a very long time, and Wrathion is no different. He's no different than his father.
Right, exactly. Just Deathwing himself was insane, and he was one of the most powerful people in the game up to that point, and nobody could really, I guess, trust Raxion. I mean, they could, but they couldn't at the same time. So it'd be interesting to like have him come back or something, or at least something similar like that, just to.
Yeah, because he's been seen in Stormwind. Like, he's in Stormwind in the next expansion. So I guess he came back. I want to know what the hell he's been up to. He's been without him for 2 expansions. Like, he's a shifty little guy.
Yeah, definitely doing the legendary cloak quest back in Mop. He was really interesting. I hated the quest, but it was fun to learn about the lore with him.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and you had the rogue legendary quest line in Kata where you released him from an egg. In Warlords of Draenor, we learned that Admiral Taylor had him in his garrison in handcuffs, and he pissed off ogres. And the last time we saw him he was at Khadgar's tower when we got our legendary rings, and then he was just there and he flew off once he saw us, and it's like, okay, he's doing something that he knows we're not gonna like.
Yeah, like something's going on here. What's it gonna be? And I really hope that they just tell us in Battle for Azeroth, because since he has been around intermittently, so we know he's still doing stuff. You just want to see what he's up to, because he has been gone for 2 expansions.
Yeah, did you do the Chromie scenario by any chance in Legion?
I never did that.
Okay, because Rathion's in there as well, so he's gonna play a role, and the dragons are gonna play a role. So I'm just like, they're kind of weaving everything, hopefully, into this giant expansion where it all goes wrong. Kind of hope that happens.
Yeah, that would definitely be an interesting story arc. The lore behind that would be awesome. Lore freaks would love it, and hopefully they actually go the right direction so people will want to play. I know a lot of people are going to be playing the Legacy server, but, at least check out the new expansion, see what it has to offer.
The Classic server won't be out for a few years, though, right? Didn't they say it was nowhere near done?
Did they say that? I didn't really read up on it. I just knew that it was coming out. I sort of stopped listening after I heard vanilla.
Yeah, no, a lot of people were like excited. But again, like I watched the whole BlizzCon thing, so I guess it could have been said somewhere in there. I think that's where he said it was at BlizzCon. He said, be patient. We just want to let you guys know that we're working on it, but they have no idea how to implement it. I think that's what they're working on, because they don't know if they should release it in patches or release the entire thing as is.
Well, it depends. I mean, people really want, I don't know. They don't know if they want the vanilla where, everything was patchy, buggy and everything like that. Quests didn't work. You could scale any wall by just jumping on it, all that stuff. Or they actually want a modified version where everything works and it's, the same stats and stuff like that, but it's, I guess, better in a sense, better graphics, better game.
Because they said they wanted some bugs, not the game-breaking one, but they wanted people to have, the authentic classic experience. But then I'm like, so you want Prot Warriors to not have charge for, the first 2 patches, how authentic are they going to go? Because a lot of people aren't going to like it. Because it was not a fun time, compared to now, I should say. The game was nowhere near polished.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that, people are going to complain about it because nothing's going to be exactly the same. And it's going to take a long time anyway, like you said, because they do want some bugs, some not bugs, and it's really hard to implement that, and just people are just going to complain about it.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if they're going to release it, raid by raid. I kind of hope they do that. I kind of hope they release it, just Molten Core and Blackwing Lair, I think, and the world bosses. And then kind of, then go Ankiraj, and then go Naxxramas. Kind of, give us that patchy feeling, because I find if they release it all at once, people just are going to get sick of it, right?
Yeah, I guess if you release it all at once, everybody's going to go for just end game stuff. They're going to clear it all, and then, now what? Now I have all the gear in vanilla, and there's going to be nothing else, because it's just a vanilla server. So what? Make a new character or?
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to play it though. I'm excited to get that old feeling back of not having a map.
Oh yeah, and the leveling, just like grinding through like Duratar, killing the boards and stuff, just to try and get
Yeah,
just to level 10 so you can find an RFC group.
yeah. And I'm gonna love doing those druid quests again though. Oh, that's gonna bring back so many great memories. Going to see like Ursoc, or was it Ursoc? I think it was Ursoc, the spirit of Ursoc, and get the bear form for the first time, and oh, it's gonna be
Yeah, I'm
great.
excited to play the Warlock and do the mount quests.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man, it was so much fun. So have you been PvPing at all?
Um, I have, so not really like hardcore PvP, but if I go over to my cousin's house, something gets super drunk, we'll go to like Hellfire Peninsula and just kill every ally, and then just get wiped by a raid, and then just I don't know, BG in between. It's really fun.
That's awesome. But like, have you been doing any instance PvP, like random battlegrounds or anything?
Yeah, so I got my first prestige on my DK because I was like level 25 or something like that, and I was super high geared, and it was I just wanted to I wanted the dagger next to my name, to be honest. And so I would just spam BGs, and I was unholy, and I would destroy everything because I was so high level compared to them, and it was awesome. I actually did PvP in season 1 and 2 of Legion on my Demon Hunter because Demon Hunter was insanely broken. So like once I popped, Metamorphosis, I could just two-shot everything. I could 1v2 arenas like super easy, get the honor level really high.
They're still pretty broken, by the way. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I believe you.
They're like Death Knights. They won't be fixed for about 4 years.
That's why I don't go in the Valorant sewers. They just populated.
Oh, I got that first patch with a group as a Guardian Druid. There was no way I was going. Like, tanks were godly, right? So I went in there as a tank, and I got Rat Stallion, and I never went back.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Even Guardian Druids right now are insane in world PvP. Like you go to those PvP world quests, in the arenas, and there's just one Guardian Druid, like super high item level, that just casts Moonfire and like spams Thrash, and you're dead. You can't do anything about it.
Oh yeah, no, I still do that. I have 13.5 million health, so I just walk
Insane.
around and just like, especially like my cooldowns like Incarnation and Rage of the Sleeper. So I just start thrashing, and just my bear's arms nonstop move, and just everything dies, it just melts. It's a beautiful thing, but
Yeah, that's crazy. Mine only has like 10 million health now, I think. But once I get the gear, I'm definitely gonna go harass people. It's gonna be awesome.
oh yeah, and take the time to do it because it is a lot of fun. The only thing you have to watch out for is like Fury Warriors with the right legendaries, because they melt everything, and it
Oh yeah.
kind of sucks. But so you're not interested in prestiging too much?
I mean, I'll do it casually. I'm not. I'm more of. I've always been a PVE guy, but I'll casually do BGs like if nothing's going on, or so like I get ganked, like I'll swap over and just kill him on my guy. But I mean, I've never. The only time I was really interested in PvP was Mop and Timeless Isle. That was just insane.
I remember that. I remember that. That was so much fun. Because yeah, I'm sitting at Prestige 13 right now.
That's awesome. I don't even know. I don't think this it has to be people like Prestige 21, but it's sort of like tedious because the leveling gets harder and it's. I mean, you get better as a player, but it's sort of repetitive, and it can get you mad really easily. Just not being able to kill a guy over and over and just, I don't know, like getting ganked and spawn camps and stuff like that. It's just awful.
Yeah, I learned a very valuable lesson today.
Oh yeah?
Especially if I'm going to be doing YouTube, I have to learn to not type in chat, not help my team at all. I learned that the hard way this morning. So I was in the eye of the storm, and rushed middle, Guardian Druid, I pushed them back. The only people that got through me was a Death Knight and a Paladin. And I was sitting there thrashing and moonfiring and typhooning people off the cliff. I was just keeping them pushed back as far as I can. That's my job, right? I look back, my entire team is pushed back by the two that the Death Knight and the Paladin that ambushed them. So I'm like, all that work was for nothing. And I was like, I tried to keep them all pushed back for you guys to get the flag. And then I don't remember what somebody said, but they talked about my mom.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they were like, they talk about like going to my mom's house or something, and I'm like, oh, is this 1990?
Right?
I almost felt like saying that really old joke as well. The 90's called. And they want your mom jokes back, but it's just like
You're right.
I have to learn to not say anything and just let it go because people start talking about my mom and stuff, and you know if I'm recording or streaming, let's say, and that gets put on stream, then that's funny, but it's just something I've learned to not do.
But that's how you know that you won the argument, though, right? Like, so once they stop like, using facts and everything like that, and just start talking about your mom, you know you're in the right, and they messed up, but they don't want to admit.
That was true, and it was also just two people from the same guild. So I mean, you know, and it's the weekend, which I forgot. I have to also keep that in mind.
Yeah, the kids are home from school, so you know they're gonna try and troll you in those.
Exactly, and I just gotta not say anything. But I only have interest to go to Prestige 18, and then I'm stopping
Why's that?
because you get the title of the Unstoppable Force.
Oh yeah, that's really nice. I'd only do PvP for the mounts because I'm, you know, kind of a mount whore, but that title does sound like really good. I can never find a decent title for my character.
Yeah, same here. And I was like, well, what'd they release? And they released like the Honorable, the Prestigious, then the Unrelenting was at 14, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Then at 18 it said the Unstoppable Force, and I said, oh, that's it. That's my title.
That's the one.
Yeah, and they released two more too. So like at honor level 22 you get Bound by Honor, and at 26 the Tactician.
I like that.
But I don't know, to me the Unstoppable Force seems like more of an endgame title.
Yeah, true. I mean, it really all depends because some titles fit with classes and some don't. Like Tactician could be, you know, Rogue or something like that. But Unstoppable Force as a Guardian Druid is super appealing because you're a giant bear with 15 million health just going in and nobody can kill you.
Oh, that's absolutely. You know what? That's true. I never thought of it that way. Like even a warrior or a paladin as the Tactician would be really good too.
Exactly. Certain titles fit certain classes, and the way you, I guess, play the class can fit the title.
See, I never thought about that. I was sitting there as a bear, like, would I want to be a bear called the Tactician or the Unstoppable Force? But I guess like as a warrior, you're like, no, I'm smart. I'm gonna win these battles. I guess the Tactician's a lot better in that case.
Right? Like strategize and stuff like.
Damn, I never thought about that. You opened my eyes.
Learn something new every day, man.
Exactly. Oh man. So, is there anything that worries you about Battle for Azeroth?
Not, I guess, not enough people playing. It, it's supposed to be really faction based, and if you know, if a lot of people are picking one faction over the other just because of the sub races or something like that, then there could be like an unequal, I guess, balance in between the two factions, which would make the, I guess, the PvP in the general sense of the expansion, like Horde versus Alliance, lopsided, because there would be way more people on one side than the other.
Well, it's like that now with Alliance and Horde. Like that's why I'm prestiging as Alliance, because you get 50% honor basically all the time. 50% more honor, I should say, just because there's never enough Alliance playing. But with that being said, I absolutely agree with you, because like I don't want to. In my opinion, the Horde got the better allied races.
I agree.
Like the Zandalar trolls, people have been wanting for a very long time, and then they got the High Mountain Torn, which is really cool as well. They got the Nightborn. The only one in the Alliance that I really liked was the Lightforged Jernai.
The Void Elf, was that Horde or Alliance? Because that was like one of my favorites, and I was probably gonna swap to that one, but
That's Alliance, but
yeah, that was really.
yeah, I really like it too. And I'm like, damn, those wings look good. Then they're like, no, you're not gonna have those wings all the time, and I'm just like, why? Like they're like, we're gonna like have them pop out with a cooldown, but it's like, just give us the wings all the time.
Right? You're screwing us, Blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I mean,
no, go ahead.
if enough people complain, you know, they'll just like screw it here, have the wings, we don't care, you know. But it's, I don't know, it really depends because a lot of people are gonna swap to the allied races because they've seen the original races for so long that it's a different change and a different pace, and it's gonna be really nice. But a faction having the better allied races could sway the I don't want to say the gap, but the percentage of people playing the factions to be again lopsided. So the PvP aspect of the faction war is going to be way off.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man, I'm excited for them, but Alliance didn't get any new druids, so I'm still a Worgen for now. But of course, I saw Puppet Greymane. What am I talking about? I'm always gonna be a Worgen.
Yeah, Worgen's really nice. I really do like Worgen Druid. I think that's probably the best Alliance race for them. I mean, with I guess Alliance have the better PvP, ratios and stuff like that. That's why a lot of good PvPers play Alliance, and PvE has the Horde ratios, like the Berserking and stuff like that. I mean, they could be really good cooldowns and arenas and stuff like that, but just the ratios themselves, people are going to be interested in with, the different sub races, and that could sway the decision a little.
Oh, absolutely. One of the cool Light Forged Draenei is when you die, you actually burst into light and you damage people that are close to you.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I'm like, okay, now we're getting into the interesting ones.
One last screw you before you die.
Exactly. I'd love someone to kill me with 1% health and just my body blow up and take them with me. Like that'd be a satisfying feeling.
That's how I want to go in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, haha, I have Martyrdom from Call of Duty, you nerd.
Exactly.
Is there an allied race you want to see in WoW?
I mean, I wouldn't mind Naga, but it's hard. It's hard to do that because they were saying themselves, transmog is an issue because you can't see the boots, you can't see the pants, all that stuff, because it's like, a snake sort of.
Yeah.
So it'd be really hard to implement it, but something like that, maybe like Tuskar, like the fishing and stuff, that could be interesting. Like ogres, that'd be interesting.
Absolutely. Ogres is actually... People have been wanting these for a very long time, too.
Yeah, a lot of theory crafting goes on, and people make these sub races, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm on board," but they don't see them as often.
I try to... So, since we're talking about allied race and stuff, do you think Vicruel will be an allied race, or do you think it'll just be a new race?
Well, I mean, it's hard because they don't know. It depends because I guess they're dead soldiers, right? So
Well,
it really depends.
You have alive ones, right?
Are they?
Yeah, you have some that are alive. Like, it's only the ones that are in, like, Skyhold are dead.
I see. So it really depends because those ones could be Horde or Alliance depending on who they died as, but the alive ones could be, I guess, their own race,
Yeah, exactly. I always thought, like, for me, I even did a video about allied races that I were, like, most practical. And for humans, I said I want it to be Vicruel. But the issue is I don't see Blizzard giving them to just one side. Like, if they made them a neutral race, I think everybody would play one.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And if they found each other on the battlefield, they'd be like, well, to Skyhold, here we come, Like, they wouldn't mind killing each other because they've been doing it for, who knows how long.
Exactly, they could. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's tricky, though, because it's so hard to implement something like that because even with the Pandarian, making them choose a faction and then, kill each other, it's all for the faction, not really for them,
Yeah, that's like it'd be hard for them to kind of have an allegiance. I guess you could have two different like factions of Vicruel, I guess. Once you pick a side, maybe they go to different homes. I don't know. But I said Gilnean for human, and I don't think a lot of people liked that.
Well, there wasn't really a lot of story arc behind Gilneas. I mean, there was a lot of lore, but you never really saw a lot of it, only in the Worgen questline.
I know, and then, like, I want Gilneas back. Hurry up, Blizzard. Like, I want that, like, Teldrassil's gone. So, they invited the Worgen to stay there, so now the Worgen can do the same for Gilneas. There you go.
Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly. Problem solved. I kind of hope they do it. I really hope they do it. That'd be beautiful.
That'd be an interesting approach, just going back to Gilneas, you saw it as a Worgen, and just to see it before that, how it was before that, I guess, Worgen outbreak happened.
Yeah.
How everything functioned. Not in the lore, but, as a character and yourself.
Yeah, like even like just taking it back and like making it a city hub again. That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people would be okay with it, but I mean, location, I guess it's sort of near what? It's near like Undercity, right? If I remember correctly. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, it's really close to. I guess it's close to Undercity, but I guess the Horde doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, it's been there for so long, like you can see it, you can look at it, but the only really time you can actually go in there is like level 1 to 10 as a ward. And it's disappointing because all of that story and like the work that they put into it and actually like making it good and a city itself, it just goes to waste because you never actually see it.
Exactly. Like even to me, like it's such a huge waste because it's such a beautiful city. Oh, and it's like the only place that's like that could be a city hub that's just not. You know.
Yeah, I totally agree. It really looked good and I really enjoyed it when I was leveling a Worgen, but it's it's sad to see it go to waste because you never actually got to explore the full city and what it was about.
Yeah, and their reasoning was, well, if we gave Worgen a home city, we'd have to give goblins. Okay, do it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. I mean, just make it like Booty Bay or something, you know?
Yeah, or just have everyone move into the pleasure palace. There we go. So did you hear that they're bringing raid buffs back? Shit.
Yeah, I did. I'm actually really excited about that because, increased stats for everybody, more damage, yay.
Yeah,
Just makes you look that much sexier on the meters, you know?
exactly. Even though like our damage is gonna go down to like, apparently we're going back to like Wrath item level too.
Really?
Yeah, like 200 item level, like 213. I think they said at BlizzCon because they showed somebody, they showed off the new like Argonite armor sets. I guess like the armor. So like your tier sets are like mini artifacts now. So
In stats or like customization?
in customization, so Battle for Azeroth, when you get a shoulder piece, it'll have like three rings, and you can pick one of three talents to kind of empower. And then you get the second ring, which you can pick one of three, and then the final ring, which you can pick like one of two or something like that.
Oh, it's just like Nether, like Crucible, artifact power mixed together.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that for all of your tier wearing sets, and they never Titan Forge. So you always have like a clear progression. So I guess that's cool.
Yeah, they're making. I'd assume they'd want to make classes more even because if some classes do more damage than others, people are gonna want to play those instead of branching out and having all the different classes in one raid. You know.
Exactly. Like they even said that at BlizzCon too was we found nobody brought like class A or class B, and hopefully with that and the raid buffs, people are like we can bring everything because everyone's gonna have something to offer.
Exactly. Like going back to Tomb of Sargeras, where they had to have like 5 or 6 rogues just to kill Jaden to cheese mechanics. That really sets off the quality of all the classes.
Yeah.
So a lot of like classes and specs aren't going to see kills for a really long time because nobody wants to play them. They just want to play like the best classes or the new classes that do the most damage and can actually progress through a raid really fast.
Yeah, it was like playing a feral druid in rated battlegrounds in the start of the expansion. Nobody brought you.
Yeah, Feral was sad for a long time.
Yeah, man. I had to go Boomkin at the start of the expansion too for rated battlegrounds, and I sucked as it. I did more damage as feral, but I just went Boomkin because nobody would bring me, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard because you could play what you want. Nobody's gonna police it, but people they'd want to take more classes than others, and I guess, but if you're better than them at specific classes like Feral Druid, like you're doing more damage as a Feral Druid than a Balanced Druid, then people are gonna want to they'd want to take you for the damage. But having a terrible spec could, I guess, influence their decision on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People just want what's overpowered, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So we've been talking a lot about WoW. Let's branch off of that. Have you seen any good movies lately?
Uh, I saw the new Star Wars movie. I enjoyed that.
It was pretty good, right?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I mean, a lot of people were pissed about it, but I enjoyed it. I mean, people looked at it like the character, I don't know, with the dyed hair as like a social justice warrior or whatever, but when you actually just don't care about any of that and watch it just as a Star Wars movie, people find I found personally that it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, like that's the thing too, right? Is like just if you just sit back and just watch a movie for what it is. Like nobody saw Terminator and went, "Oh, there's like a strong female lead. What is this? Social justice like no, it was just Linda Hamilton being badass cuz she was a badass."
Exactly.
Um
It's you just have to look at it from the standpoint of this is like not real and just enjoy it because it's meant to be an act of fiction that's supposed to be enjoyable for you, where you don't have to like worry about anything and you can just watch it for the plot.
exactly. It's like, why watch pornography simply for the plot.
Yeah, definitely. The same people needing their, pipes fixed over and over again. That's enticing.
Hey man, I got to keep watching this video cuz I want to see if the stepmother gets unstuck. I mean, the stepson has to help her.
Someday.
How do you get stuck in a windowsill? How do you get stuck underneath a table or in a washing machine? Like hello? I think they're asking for it.
Something a little provocative there, Maybe call a fire department instead of, your son.
So that's how you get women. I'm just gonna lay out like underneath the car and just tell like with my pants down and just keep yelling, I'm stuck, somebody help me. And then there we go.
Well, that can go one of two ways.
My
You
legs,
might be on a registry, or you might, get a whoop.
yeah, or my legs start lifting up and I feel hair. Oh boy.
And then a pressure, It's
Oh man.
a couple ways, man.
Oh man, that got dark really fast. That like
Yeah,
now
that
it's
took a turn.
real.
That took a big turn.
Yeah, it's real now. I have to live with this now. Oh,
This is
man.
happening.
Exactly. Well, I don't know how we're gonna get any better than that.
Yeah.
Shall we end on a high note? End on a joke?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Well, I thank you, my dude, very much for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
No, I really appreciate it, and this is something that I hopefully gonna do once a month. I mean, you don't worry, you don't have to come back once a month. Hopefully, I can get other guests as well, but it all depends on how they're feeling. But I really appreciate you joining me, and I thank you so much. 'Cause that's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, my dude. And I guess take care, everyone else, and I will see you later. So thank you guys very much for watching the podcast. Now, I should have done this during the podcast, but I completely forgot about it. At every end of the podcast, or at the start, I'm not too sure which, I'm going to end with a quote of the month or a quote of the week, depending on how often I do the podcast. We're looking in the Javier Mall, the words of Odin. Let's just read the quote and we'll talk about it. Young was I once, I walked alone, and bewildered seemed the way. Then I found me another, and rich I thought me, for man is the joy of man. I love video games. I like movies. I love music. But all of this stuff can easily be replaced by another human. When we start putting our things ahead of our family, when we put starting our things ahead of ourselves, we feel we walk that path alone. Sometimes trust, love, honesty, honor are the things we must keep inside ourselves to remain close to each other. So that, I'd like to thank you all for watching my video and for all of the support you have given me. Because all of this is useless, but it's you guys that give me this support. That's what I really love. So thank you, and have a good day.